Welcome to my channel, The Stoic Diary. There's a moment in every man's life where the noise fades, the chaos, the games, the empty conversations, the surface attraction, and for the first time, you stop chasing the woman who excites you and start noticing the one who grounds you, not the loudest in the room, not the most glamorous on your feed, but the one who creates silence. Not awkwardness, but peace. You see, when a woman is serious about you, it's never dramatic. There's no performance. No checklist. No forced effort. It's not about how often she texts or what she posts. It's about how she shows up. Not just in the good moments, but in the quiet ones. Not just when you're smiling, but when you're tired. Not just when you're winning, but when you're vulnerable. This is what most men miss. They're chasing validation, looking for the obvious signs, the compliments, the likes, the attention, but those things, they fade. Real feminine energy isn't loud. It's intuitive. It's subtle. It's honest. And when she sees something real in you, not the image, not the status, not the exterior, but the man behind it all, she'll shift. Her presence will soften. Her energy will slow down. She won't try to impress you because she's too busy trying to make space for you. That's when you know she's serious. Not about the idea of you, but the actual life you live, the purpose you pursue, the man you're becoming. And here's the thing, this shift doesn't come with a warning. No announcement. No grand reveal, just quiet signals reserved only for men who are still enough to notice. This isn't about pickup lines. This isn't about dating apps. This is about awareness. If you can slow down, tune in, and observe what she does when the mask drops, you'll learn more in 10 seconds of silence than in 10 hours of talking. In this video, I'm going to break down the 3 most profound things a woman will start doing when she's serious about you. Not when she's interested. Not when she's curious, but when she's emotionally aligned with your presence. These signs are for the men who've stopped chasing and started choosing. Who've learned to read truth in behavior, not just words. If that's you, welcome to the Stoic Diary, where we don't teach game, we teach depth. Let's begin. Sign number 1, she makes emotional space for you. Here's something most men don't realize until it's too late. A woman can be physically close to you, laughing at your jokes, holding your hand, sharing your bed, and still keep her heart locked behind 1,000 invisible walls. But when she's serious about you, something changes. She doesn't just spend time with you. She starts making space for you. And not just physical space. I'm talking about emotional real estate. A space in her mind. A corner of her day, a place in her nervous system where you matter. Not out of obligation, but out of alignment. She starts remembering the things you casually mention. Not because they were dramatic, but because they were real. She hears the change in your voice. Even when you say you're fine, she senses when your energy's off, even when you're smiling. Why? Because she's present. She's not listening to reply, she's listening to understand, not watching. For you, to impress her, but tuning in to who you are beyond the surface. And here's the deeper truth. Making emotional space for someone is one of the most vulnerable things a woman can do, because it means she's inviting you into the most sacred part of her attention, her care, her inner world. Not every man gets access to that space, and she doesn't give it easily. But if you notice that she starts checking in, and even when there's nothing in it for her, if she slows down her day to ask how you're doing, not as a formality but as a moment of connection, if she holds emotional room for you when you're not at your best, without judgment, without rushing, without trying to fix you, that's not random kindness. That's investment. That's reverence. That's a woman saying with her actions, I see you. I respect you. And I care enough to hold space for the real you. That is a sacred signal. And if you're wise enough to recognize it, too, match that depth with presence of your own. You're not just building a relationship. You're building a bond. So remember this. Anyone can fill your time. But a woman who's serious about you will create space for your soul to breathe. Sign number 2, she becomes her real self. Around you, there's a side of her no one sees, not the world, not social media, sometimes not even her closest friends. It's the version of her that's unpolished, quiet, honest. The part that doesn't smile on command. The one that isn't trying to impress anyone. And when she starts showing that version of herself to you, that's not weakness. That's not carelessness. That is a signal, because most women live behind layers of expectation, perfection, protection. They are taught to be pleasant, to be likable, beautiful, effortlessly composed. But when she's serious about you, those layers begin to fall away. She gets a little messy, a little weird, a little more human. She laughs in ways she doesn't laugh with anyone else. She talks about things she usually hides. She opens up, not to be dramatic, but to be real, because for the first time, she feels safe, and safety. Real, grounded. Masculine safety is the one thing that allows a woman to relax into her truth. She stops filtering every word. She doesn't overanalyze her texts. She shows up with messy hair, no makeup, loose clothes, not because she's given up, but because she knows you're not just attracted to her beauty. You're connected to her essence. She's no longer performing the ideal woman. She's just being herself. Raw, emotional, complex, sometimes irrational, but always present. And here's the paradox. Most men say they want a real woman, but when she finally shows up unfiltered, they panic. They label her too emotional, too intense, too complicated. But a man who's in his grounded masculine, the kind of man you're becoming, doesn't flinch when the real her shows up. He doesn't need her to be perfect. He just needs her to be honest, because that version of her, the One without the mask, without the filter, without the performance. That's where the depth lives. That's where real connection begins. And if you can hold space for her in that place, you're not just another man she dates, you become the sanctuary where she finally feels free to be. And trust me, a woman never forgets the man who made her feel safe enough to stop pretending. Most people walk through life wearing a mask, a version of themselves curated for the world, smiling when they want to cry, nodding when they want to scream, performing when they just want to be still. And women, they carry that performance even deeper because from a young age they are taught to be desirable not just in how they look but in how they speak, how they react, even how they feel. Be pleasant, be light, don't be too much. So what happens? Most men never actually meet the real her. They fall for a projection, the graceful, sweet, polished version she's been trained to present. But when a woman is truly serious about you, that projection starts to fade. She begins showing you the parts of her that aren't filtered. Not because she's careless, but because she trusts you. And trust isn't given quickly. It's not earned through charm or compliments. It's built through consistency, through presence, through how you show up when she's not her best, when she sees that you're steady even in her storm. That's when she begins to relax. And brother, when a woman relaxes into her real self with you, you're witnessing something rare. She might cry in front of you without apologizing. She might talk about her fears, her insecurities, her childhood scars. Not to burden you, but to share herself. She might stop trying to look perfect 24/7. Let you see her without makeup. Let you witness her goofy side, her weird sense of humor, her awkward little rituals that no one else sees. That's not her slipping. That's her choosing to reveal. It means she no longer needs to be the idealized version of herself to feel worthy of your presence. And that's huge. Because that kind of vulnerability, that kind of emotional nakedness, it's not something she gives to just anyone. She's not trying to impress you. She's letting you in into the soft parts, the unhealed parts, the sacred hidden corners of her humanity. And most men, they run when that happens. They think she's too emotional or not as fun anymore. But a masculine man, a stoic man, doesn't need her to be perfect. He values truth over image. He sees that what she's giving isn't weakness. It's a gift, a sign that she's not just interested in the version of him that the world sees, but in the version that rests beneath the armor. So if she's being her full, unfiltered, unapologetic self around you, and not out of laziness, but out of trust, you're not just dating. You're witnessing something sacred unfold. Because when a woman stops trying to be what the world wants and starts being who she truly is, that's not a step backward. That's her stepping into you fully, freely, fearlessly. And the real question becomes, can you meet her there? Not with judgment, not with ego, but with presence, with awareness, with stillness. Because the man who can sit with her truth is the man she'll never want to hide from again. Sign number 3, she invests without needing a return. There's a subtle truth about love. Real love isn't about tit for tat. It's not about playing games, counting favors, or keeping score. When a woman is serious about you, her investment isn't conditional. It's not given with a checklist of "I'll give." If you give, she doesn't need a return. Because her value comes from how she gives, not from what she gets in return. Most men don't get this. They get caught up in the idea that everything has to be transactional. If I do this, she'll do that. If I'm kind to her, she'll be kind to me. But a woman who's serious about you doesn't think like that. She invests because she genuinely cares. She supports because she believes in you, not because she expects you to owe her anything in return. She'll make time for you even when she's busy. Not because she's looking for you to do the same, but because she wants to listen to your worries, not to make herself feel needed, but because she knows the strength of being present for someone she values. It's not about performing or proving anything. It's the quiet acts of love, holding space for your emotions, going out of her way to make your day easier, even if she's had a long one herself. She doesn't expect you to be perfect in return. She doesn't need you to give her a grand gesture every time she makes a sacrifice, because her investment comes from a place of abundance, not lack. And this is where most men falter. They are so focused on what they're getting out of the relationship that they miss the deeper truth. A woman who gives from her heart isn't expecting an immediate return. She's expecting that over time the love she shared will bloom into something real, something sustainable. She invests in you because she believes in the future you can create together, not because of what she gets in the moment. She won't pressure you to match her level of investment. She won't keep track of who's done what or keep a mental note of what you owe her. Her actions are grounded in something deeper than reciprocity, and that's when you know she's serious. She's no longer seeking validation. She's no longer measuring her worth based on what she can extract from you. She invests because for her, love isn't a transaction. It's a gift, freely given. And this isn't weakness or a sign of needing you to be perfect. This is strength. Strength in her capacity to love without strings attached, strength in her ability to show up for you even when the world tells her not to. And when a woman starts investing like this with no strings attached, without calculating every little gesture, that's when you realize she's not in it for what you can give her. She's in it because you matter to her. And here's the test for you, man. When she invests without expectation, will you rise to meet her energy, or will you take it for granted? Will you value the depth she's offering, or let it fade into the background of your life? Because a woman who invests without needing a return is rare. And if you recognize this gift and match it with your own grounded presence, your own silent investment in her, you'll create something that transcends mere romance. You'll create a bond that doesn't need constant validation. You'll create a partnership that's built on the quiet power of mutual trust. And that, my friend, is when you know she's not just serious. She's in it for the long haul. Now, before you go, I want you to pause for a moment. If you've been listening to what I've shared here today and you felt that inner shift, that recognition that you are capable of being the man who sees these signs and rises to meet them, then it's time to make a choice. Are you the kind of man who's just passively watching relationships unfold? Or are you ready to be intentional to step up and embody the kind of man who can create real deep lasting connections? If you're serious about becoming the stronger, more grounded version of yourself that women respect and love to invest in, you need to start taking action in your own life right now. So, here's what I want you to do. Hit that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is on, because every week I'm sharing more insights to help you master relationships and become the best version of yourself. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you've noticed these signs in your own relationships. Do you see the depth of what's possible when a woman truly invests in you? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. A friend, a brother, anyone who's searching for a deeper understanding of what it means to connect on a real level. But most importantly, commit to growth. This is a journey, and it starts with a choice to step away from the shallow and into the profound, because real transformation doesn't happen overnight. But it does happen one step at a time, and you're already on the path. So let me ask you one final question, brother. What's the next step you're going to take to create a life and relationships that are built on depth and authenticity? Take that step today, right now. Start by subscribing and engaging with this content, because you deserve the kind of relationship where both you and your partner give not out of obligation but out of genuine, unwavering love. As we close out today's video, remember this: everything in life is a reflection of the energy you put out. If you want deep connections, you need to embody depth. If you want a woman to invest in you without needing a return, you need to first invest in yourself and in her without holding back. The signs we've talked about today are powerful, but they're only visible if you're paying attention, if you're present, if you're doing the inner work to become the kind of man who's worthy of those investments. So, I challenge you as you leave this video: don't just be a passive observer of your relationships. Be the active creator. Be the grounded force that leads with purpose. If you're ready for more of these deep dives into masculinity, stoicism, and authentic relationships, make sure to join this community. My name is Amelia, and you've been watching The Stoic Diary. Stay grounded, stay present, and keep evolving, because the journey to mastery never ends. And it's one that's worth taking every step of the way. Until next time, take care and keep building the life and relationships that you deserve.